IPTV is killing the game of football, is what I would say if I was listening to this guy, Luigi Di Severo. Now, Luigi is the CEO of one of the biggest European football leagues, Serie A, and he wants you to believe that IPTV is going to be the complete downfall of not just his league, but all football. So let's check out his claims and see what effect, if any, IPTV has on European soccer. I mean football leagues. I make weekly videos helping people like you save money on streaming services and teaching you how to optimize your device. If you like this kind of content, the best way to support me is hitting the subscribe button right down below. In a recent interview, Luigi stated, "Football is being killed. And at the end of the battle, we will win because it's either us or them." And that them he is talking about are fans that pirate the content. Maybe a little dramatic, right? But don't worry, you'll see, Luigi has a flair for the dramatics. Now, money never lies, so the easiest way to see the effect of IPTV on this football league is to check out the financial records. In the 2022 to 2023 season, Series A saw a gross revenue of 2.9 billion, a pretty big number, right? In fact, a 22% increase from the year before. Now, despite that, they still saw a deficit of over 427 million. But of course, according to Luigi, IPTV is really the biggest reason for the league's deficits. So let's take a look at what's really costing the league so much money. Serie A racked up a total of 3.85 billion in expenditures, with 1.9 billion of that being players' salaries. Now, if you do the math on that 1.9 billion, that means players are being paid well over 50% of the revenue, which is pretty rare. Even when you look at some of the biggest leagues, most popular leagues across the world, like the NBA, those players get a 50-50 split. And to get to that point is extremely hard for players. There are usually constant rounds of negotiations. Now, I don't watch football, so I would need some of you guys in the comments to let me know if this is true, but to me, this kind of seems like potentially player inflation. There's a lot of competitive leagues in Europe. You have Premier League, you have La Liga. So is Series A, I said Series A, Serie A, just paying players more to come to their league because they think it's going to make their clubs better, when in fact, their clubs actually might not be able to afford some of these players? When we compare this to other super popular leagues in Europe, they're quite a bit behind. Like, for example, Premier League makes 6.7 billion and La Liga makes close to 3.8 billion. Now that we can see this league isn't in the best financial position, let's talk about their CEO, Luigi. I know every time I say that, I don't want to say it like Super Mario. Luigi! Now, he has made it clear that he blames Pirate IPTV for what seems like every problem the league has. He estimates that Pirate IPTV costs the league over 300 million per year. But even when you do the math on that, 427 minus 300, they would still be down over $100 million. So clearly that's not the only problem. Now, deficits aren't anything new to sports leagues. It's a very hard business model to get profitable. But when you hit it big, you hit it big. The WNBA, for instance, has been negative for years and years and years. In fact, the NBA even kept them afloat. But the owners, they hold on and they live in these deficits because they just hope for that Caitlin Clark moment where she comes in and brings stardom to the league. And that right there brings the potential of a team like the Dallas Mavericks being worth hundreds of millions when Mark Cuban buys it to billions when he finally sells it. Luigi has made some pretty aggressive comments towards fans, going as far to berate them for using Pirate IPTV. So I really like this one. We also need some education on the subject. We have to make people understand how we are doing damage to the whole country. Okay. Previously, he also described the whole country of Italy as a bunch of freeloaders. Notoriously, when someone calls me a freeloader, I want to buy their product more, right? On top of that, he also went as far to say that fans that watch pirate streams should face criminal consequences. My man, we do not have enough jails in the world for that many people. Now, just to be clear, the man making these comments is paid over £1 million per year. And on his last contract cycle, it had in it where he would make an extra $3 million, 3 times his normal salary, if the media rights agreements went up during the next cycle. So this guy has clear incentive to be as aggressive as possible to people watching IPTV, pirated services, because every single person matters. You want them watching the legal stuff so he can ensure he gets that bonus as well. And that right there is probably why he went as far to say that fans should be arrested. Well, why do people actually pirate these matches? Is it because they want to steal from their favorite team, or they're just a bunch of freeloaders? Not exactly. It's actually pretty common knowledge that when media is accessible and affordable, most people will choose the legal method. However, when companies do a poor job making their product available, either through really weird media rights agreements, or they make it too expensive, less people are inclined to pay for it. Now, just to be clear, there will always be a small subsection of people that will pirate content no matter what. As long as they're saving even 50 cents, they're going to do it. But for the majority of people, that just isn't the case. This notion that being super aggressive with IPTV services, changing laws so IP addresses are tracked and websites are shut down right away, threatening to arrest fans works. It just doesn't work. Even check out this ad from Serie A. They put this up right before their season started around 2 years ago, where it says piracy kills football. And look at the photo, right? They make it seem like, oh my God, if you pirate this game, the apocalypse is happening and football will no longer exist. It reminds me of those old commercials where it's like, stealing a car is theft, shoplifting is theft, piracy is theft. Now, there's probably some legit reasons why Serie A is losing money as well, and that's probably where they should start to look if they want to increase revenue. For example, it seems like on this Football One platform, it's actually been impossible for fans to even purchase the passes so far this year. Also, I saw this other really good point online where they were talking about bringing their product to English-speaking North America. That is one of the biggest markets in the world, and how Premier League has led the way with English broadcasting networks. The fact just might be you're not delivering as good of a product as 2 or 3 of your competitors. And football isn't the NBA, it's not the NFL, it's not the NHL. There are so many competitive leagues in Europe, you have to give people a reason to watch it. Because despite pirated services, there are a lot of successful sports leagues out there, and they will continue to be successful despite IPTV existing. So despite all this, pirate IPTV probably isn't going anywhere. Even if you change the laws, you can't throw everybody in jail that is using it. Now, whether it's right or wrong is a different story. It's going to exist. So the question is how to mitigate it, like we do with a lot of things in our everyday life. Now, if you guys enjoyed this kind of content, 2 ways to support me is either by purchasing a membership. You can do that directly on YouTube. It's only $1.99 a month. It basically buys me a coffee, or you can purchase IP Vanish down below. I get a nice kickback from IP Vanish. You get a product, and if you don't like it within 30 days, cancel it and get all your money back. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.